Hey everyone! I was recently looking at some stills from the film Elizabeth Golden Age, and I noticed that a lot of the actresses wore what looked like quilted snoods over their buns and upstyles. I've always liked this look, so I decided I wanted to try it out and show you guys here what I've come up with. I've got two variations to present, both of which I hope you'll enjoy. I began my first rendition by dividing my hair horizontally with that line extending over my crown. The top half is clipped up and the lower portion is then split into two even pieces using a vertical parting. It's unlikely that you'd spend the time building a snood unless perhaps you were a cosplayer, Renaissance actor, or active crafter, so with that in mind, I decided to use ribbon and braid it in instead. Surprisingly, this creates a great illusion, as in it looks a lot like a snood but somehow maintains a more modern appearance. I have 4 pieces of silver ribbon, all double the length of my hair, and I think you can see that I'm stringing each piece through a small elastic, making sure the ends are even. I'm on the right side first, and I've split that hair vertically into 2 again. Basically, the entire bottom half of hair will be divvied up into 4 pigtails, each with a ribbon folded onto itself running through the hairband. Moving along, I'm going to bind everything together. Both ends of the ribbon will act as strands in my braid. It ends up looking like you've simply wrapped it creatively around the hair, but it's a lot more secure because, of course, it's weaved together and tied with another elastic. This step is repeated through all 4 pigtails. I wanted this to look slightly romantic and soft, so I'm going to curl the entire upper portion of hair with a thin wand. But first, I'm going to section everything, that way it'll feel a little more manageable as I go. I chose to do a center parting, and then I carved out 2 panels of hair using vertical lines. These extended from the center top to right where my ear connects to my head. For now, I'm clipping them away. Now, if I were working on another woman, I'd probably curl the entire top half first. However, when I'm doing my own hair, these extra steps help me to keep things neater, since I obviously can't see the back or the top of my head. Once I had the section over my crown waved, I raked my fingers through it a few times to take down some of the ringlet, and I gathered and secured it into a half ponytail just above the occipital. I then went in with one of those topsy tools and flipped the hair through it and above the elastic. I'm fast forwarding here, but I curled those 2 vertical panels, the ones I'd initially left out, and again used my fingers to break up some of the spirals. As before, I put the topsy tail back into the space above my hairband from the half ponytail and laced this hair through it before pulling it down. I then braided the loose hair and carefully wrapped it into a bun at the back of my head. It'll act as a cushion for all the pins in the next step, while simultaneously working as a marker for the ribbon braids. With these, you want to lay them sideways back and forth across the bun in this space. I like to use open pins here, but you should always work with the accoutrements that feel best to you. I think it's probably more important to cover the sides of the bun than worry about any gaps over it. You can always go back in and move things around once you've got it all off your neck. And with that, my first idea is complete. What do you guys think? Could you see yourself wearing this? Let me know in the comments below. The second rendition, I was thinking more about that sort of classic, pulled all the way back little black dress hair knot. I began by making a U-shaped section at the top of my head, and I curled and set everything with a 1-inch barrel. This wasn't so much about waving the hair as it was about creating lift at the roots. I also want to make the braids thicker than before, so I put a few extensions into that lower half, and like last time, I also separated away some hair at my temples with a few clips. To save time, I'm moving quickly through the video now since a lot of these steps are so similar. I've taken out my pin curl clips and teased the entirety of that section before smoothing the outer layer and pulling it into a ponytail. Unlike the first version, there won't be a need for a topsy tool. And you can see that I've made the same 4 ponytails in the lower half, but I'm also going to make 2 additional braids with the loose hair left over from the tease, so in total, I'll be bunning 6 instead of 4. The braids under my tease were a little heavy, so I kind of twisted and pushed that section up and used a few pins to secure it so that it wouldn't lose volume, and then I was onto the hair along my face. These pieces were meant to cover that elastic, and all I did was pin one section over it and then the other and repeat. You can always make a 7th and 8th braid with the tails of these sections, but I've chosen to pin the whole thing to the ends. With that, it was simply securing everything else back and forth under and along the occipital. Since I had more braids and thicker hair, it took a little longer for me to fit everything together, not to mention I needed more pins. But with that last little blast of hairspray, I was finished with my look for the day. Anyway, I hope you like what I put forward today. If you did, throw me a thumbs up, leave a comment, or subscribe. And don't forget to have fun and keep braiding. See you next time. Bye!